In the labyrinth of history, some eras burn brighter, and faster, than others. Of rebellion, they are fleeting moments in blood and gold, before being swallowed by the tide of empire. This is the story of one such moment. A time when monsters and myths were real, and a small, forgotten island became the heart of a global insurrection. It began, as many violent chapters do, with the end of a war. The War of the Spanish Succession had bled Europe dry, and its peace treaty left thousands of sailors without a flag to serve. These men were privateers, legal pirates sanctioned by the crown. But peace had made their skills, their very existence, obsolete and criminal overnight. Cast out by the empires they had enriched, they scattered to the winds. They carried with them a deep-seated resentment and a very particular set of skills. They found their new home in the heart of the Caribbean, on an island called New Providence. Its main settlement, Nassau, was a failed colonial outpost, abandoned by the British. Its harbor was a strategic marvel, deep enough for their ships but protected by shallow sandbars that could wreck the heavy warships of the Royal Navy. Here, in this forgotten corner of the world, they would build a new society. A society free from kings, priests, and masters. They would call it the Pirate Republic. The first to arrive were men like Benjamin Hornigold and Henry Jennings. They were the architects of this outlaw nation, founding a loose confederation known as the Flying Gang. Their philosophy was simple: war against the world. They preyed upon the fat merchant ships of the empires that had betrayed them, and Nassau became their fortified den. Word spread through the taverns and docks of the known world. Nassau was a place where a man could be free, where stolen treasure flowed like wine. Soon, the most infamous names in the annals of piracy would call Nassau home. Men whose very names struck terror into the hearts of merchants and captains. Edward Teach, a towering figure of calculated terror, would soon become the legend known as Blackbeard. His reign was theater as much as it was piracy. Charles Vane, a man of pure, unadulterated rage. He was the true believer, the uncompromising revolutionary who despised the empires and all they stood for. And, Calico Jack Rackham, a pirate more famous for his style and the company he kept than his actual prowess. He was a flash of color in a dark world. Together, they and hundreds of others forged a unique social contract. The Pirate Code was a radical document of democracy and equality in a deeply autocratic age. Captains were elected, loot was divided into shares, and compensation was provided for injuries sustained in battle. It was a welfare state funded by plunder. Nassau itself transformed into a sprawling, chaotic metropolis of vice. A pirate's paradise, built on rum, liberty, and the spoils of the world's richest trade routes. The taverns were the centers of political and social life. Here, plans were hatched, crews were recruited, and fortunes were won and lost on the roll of a dice. For nearly a decade, this republic of outlaws thrived. It was a dagger pointed at the heart of the British, French, and Spanish empires. They choked the arteries of commerce. The sugar, tobacco, and slave trades that fueled Europe's economies ground to a halt, paralyzed by fear. Insurance rates skyrocketed. Merchants in London and Bristol petitioned the crown, begging for a solution to the pirate scourge emanating from New Providence. The pirates of Nassau were no longer a mere nuisance. They were a clear and present danger to the stability of the entire colonial system. Blackbeard, in a move of breathtaking audacity, blockaded the port of Charleston, South Carolina. He held an entire city hostage, demanding a chest of medicine. He got his medicine. The incident was a profound humiliation for the British Empire, proof that a single pirate could bring a colony to its knees. In London, the calculus had changed. The thorn in the side of the empire had become a cancer that needed to be cut out, whatever the cost. The King's Council devised a two-pronged strategy. A carrot, and a very large, very sharp stick. The carrot was the king's pardon. A proclamation offering a full and free pardon to any pirate who surrendered themselves to a British governor within 1 year. It was a tempting offer, a chance to return to civilization, to keep their lives and perhaps some of their ill-gotten gains. But it was also a test of loyalty. The stick was the man chosen to deliver it. A man who knew the pirates' world intimately, because he had once been a part of it. His name was Woodes Rogers. A celebrated privateer, hero of the nation, and the newly appointed royal governor of the Bahama Islands. Rogers had famously circumnavigated the globe and rescued Alexander Selkirk, the real-life Robinson Crusoe. He was a man of immense capability and unshakable resolve. He understood the pirate mindset. He knew their strengths, their weaknesses, and their deep-seated hatred for the system he now represented. His motto was, Expulsus Piratus, Restituta Commercia, pirates expelled, commerce restored. It was a promise he intended to keep, with ink or with blood. In the spring of 1718, Rogers set sail from England. He commanded a small but powerful fleet of Royal Navy warships, carrying soldiers, supplies, and the king's ultimatum. Meanwhile, in Nassau, news of the pardon and Rogers' impending arrival had split the pirate republic down the middle. The utopia was beginning to fracture. Benjamin Hornigold, the elder statesman of piracy, argued for accepting the pardon. He had grown rich and saw a chance for a comfortable retirement. But Charles Vane, the firebrand, would hear none of it. To him, surrender was a betrayal of everything they had built. He called those who would take the pardon cowards and traitors. Blackbeard, ever the opportunist, simply sailed away before Rogers arrived. He had no interest in pardons or last stands, he had his own dark ambitions. The rest of the pirates waited. The flying gang was paralyzed by indecision, caught between the promise of forgiveness and the call of rebellion. On July 24, 1718, the wait was over. The sails of the Royal Navy appeared on the horizon. The day of reckoning had arrived. The sight of the warships struck fear into many hearts. These were not fat merchantmen, they were purpose-built killing machines, symbols of the Empire's might. Rogers cleverly blocked the two entrances to Nassau's harbor. The pirates were trapped, their greatest strategic advantage nullified. The message was clear, there would be no escape. Only surrender, or annihilation. As night fell, a palpable tension settled over Nassau. The raucous pirate den fell silent, awaiting the coming storm. Every man had to make his choice. Most, seeing the overwhelming force arrayed against them, chose to submit. Flags of truce were raised over ships captained by men who had once terrorized the seas. But Charles Vane was not most men. For him, a life in chains was worse than death. He would not surrender his freedom without a fight. He hatched a plan of stunning audacity. An act of defiance so bold it would be remembered for centuries. He would not run from the fire, he would become it. Under the cover of darkness, Vane's men worked feverishly. They loaded the prize ship's cannons to the muzzle and pointed them inward, to ensure they would explode. Then, they set it alight. The French ship became a floating pyre, a gigantic, undirected weapon aimed at the heart of the Royal Navy blockade. With its anchor cut, the ghost ship drifted on the tide, a silent, blazing messenger of chaos, heading directly for Roger's flagship. Panic erupted on the British warships. The calm, orderly blockade dissolved into chaos as captains frantically ordered their crews to cut their own anchor cables. The fire ship exploded in a cataclysm of fire and shrapnel as its cannons cooked off. The night sky was lit up as if by a volcano. This was the moment Vane had been waiting for. In the smoke, the fire, and the confusion, he saw his chance. As the Royal Navy scrambled, Vane hoisted his sails. Firing his cannons at Roger's flagship in a final act of defiance, he slipped through the newly created gap in the blockade. Charles Vane was free. He had lost Nassau, but he had kept his soul, escaping into the darkness to continue his private war against the world. The Battle of Nassau was over. It was a strange kind of victory for Woodes Rogers. He had taken the city, but its most formidable spirit had escaped his grasp. The following morning, the remaining pirates, including Benjamin Hornigold, formally surrendered. The Jolly Roger was lowered from the fort for the last time. Rogers stepped onto an island that was more of a squalid camp than a town. The hard work of transforming a pirate den into a British colony had just begun. He immediately put the pardoned pirates to work rebuilding the fort's crumbling walls. The irony was not lost on them, they were now fortifying their old home against their former brethren. Hornigold, in a final, cynical turn, became a pirate hunter for the new government. He used his intimate knowledge to hunt down those who refused the pardon. The age of the Pirate Republic was over. But the age of the pirate hunters had just begun. The seas would run red with the blood of those who defied the king's mercy. Charles Vane's freedom was short-lived. He was eventually shipwrecked, captured, and brought to Jamaica for trial. He remained defiant to the very end. Calico Jack Rackham was captured, along with his infamous female crewmates, and Bonnie and Mary Red. His end was swift and unceremonious. And Blackbeard, the great devil of the sea, was finally cornered and killed in a bloody battle off the coast of North Carolina. His legend, however, would prove immortal. Woodes Rogers succeeded. He expelled the pirates and restored commerce, just as his motto proclaimed. Nassau became a respectable, if dull, British port. But in the process, a wild, dangerous, and radically different idea of society was extinguished. A brief experiment in democracy and anarchy was crushed under the heel of empire. The Pirate Republic of Nassau lasted for less than a decade. A fleeting, violent dream of a world without kings. It was a brutal and bloody time, born of desperation and greed. Yet, it remains a powerful story of defiance, a testament to those who, for a brief moment, chose to live free and die under their own flag.